Hey guys, what's up? Let's jump into it. Let's get into the grits and gravy of this video. I don't really want to juicy up. It's my birthday tomorrow. I'm really excited. I know it's crazy. It's my birthday and I'm turning 34, but I literally feel 18. It's crazy. I don't feel 34. Maybe because I left New Zealand when I was 18 and it's been 15 years and now I'm back. It's like I don't even too much know. It's just like I don't know, I blinked and the time went by. It's wild. It's actually wild. Yeah. But yeah, it's my birthday. Probably gonna keep it low key. I think I'm very low key with my birthdays, to be honest. Last year, I definitely invited people over and we had a good sort of barbecue situation, which was really fun. And I met my godson for the first time, which was really fun. Shout out to baby Otis. I hope you like my Ocean candle, which is lit today. Sort of like cup it. Ocean! I'm trying to bring sweetness back into my life. I think it's working. I don't know. We'll see. But I wrote down a few things that I want to talk about, a few subjects that I want to broach with you. Birthday. Yeah. Gonna keep it real low key. My family is very traditional, but we're not fixed. Do you know what I mean? We're pretty open-minded, but we're very traditional. Yeah. I just had a thought right now. So I did something embarrassing maybe 6 years ago, and both of my sisters, typically when we do embarrassing things in our family, we move on from them quite quickly. But for whatever reason, they've stuck on this one thing that happened 6 years ago, and they bring it up all the time. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, are you trolling me? Are you trolling me? Why of all the things that I've done the past 15 years, this is the one thing that you continue to bring up? It's very strange to me. It has to do with my love life, so I don't really want to talk about it because it's not even that it's embarrassing as much as it is I'm so far removed from that. It was 7 years ago. It's almost about to be 8 years ago, and they're still talking about it. It's very weird to me. I don't get it. I think maybe because it was very out of character for me. I don't know. But they keep bringing this thing up, and it's I don't know why when I talked about our open-mindedness, that was the first thing that came to my head. So we're very traditional. Let me refocus. We're very traditional in that we have our favorite restaurants that we go to, and we have little traditions that we do. We like to go to Mission Bay and get ice cream, and we've been doing that since the 90s. Now everyone goes to Mission Bay and gets ice cream, but we used to go to Mission Bay and get ice cream with Granddad, and that was our family thing every Sunday. And it wasn't there were all these fancy, bougie, stupid expensive ice cream stores on the eastern side now, and they're $15 for an ice cream cone. Just got a message. They're $15 an ice cream cone, and that's not what we used to do. We used to go to the literal dairy. A dairy is almost like a bodega, or I don't know. We used to just go to very no frills ice cream spots, and we would all have our favorite flavors. I still remember to this day. Granddad liked Goody Goody Gumdrops, which I think is now out of circulation. I think they've actually stopped making Goody Goody Gumdrops, which is a shame. It's Goody Goody Gumdrops is vanilla ice cream, but with like chunks of this like almost like a lolly candy, almost like jelly kind of. It was very interesting. Not my favorite, but that was Granddad's favorite. I think he liked the surprise of like the candy inside. But my granddad was also diabetic, so we definitely made sure his sugar levels were like ready for the ice cream that day, because obviously it can get to be a problem when you're diabetic and you're eating ice cream every Sunday. Anyway, my dad's favorite flavor was, I always thought this was funny, not vanilla, but French vanilla. He liked French vanilla ice cream, which is always stuck out in my mind because my dad married an English woman. She's white, so I'm like, oh, Dad likes white things, French vanilla. Oh my God, weirdo. I'm the weirdo for remembering that. My dad's not a weirdo for liking my mom. But I always liked orange chocolate chip. That was my favorite ice cream. And I know, like, whenever I say that to Americans, they're like, orange chocolate chip? Ew. And I'm like, no, no, no. There's a theme here. Sunset orange is my favorite color. And I like oranges. I really like citrus fruits. I think citrus fruits might be my favorite. Soursop is my favorite fruit. I love a good soursop. What else do they call soursop? There's like different names for it. I don't know. I like tropical fruits, but I do have a soft spot for citrus fruits. I have a soft spot for like lemons. I like oranges, mandarins, satsumas. But I also like the color of orange juice is probably my favorite juice. Yeah, I love orange juice. Yeah. Sometimes I drink so much orange juice, I'm like, I'm for sure gonna make myself diabetic. But we just have like all these family traditions, and like this city is quite amazing. Maybe it's just amazing for me because I grew up here. But I go on my morning walk, which is way more beautiful than the LA River, by the way. Not that it's difficult. But I get up and I, go down to Victoria Park, and there were all these like people playing cricket, or they're playing like, is this even cute? Do I look cute right now? I haven't been looking in the camera, I've just been talking. I think I look cute. This lighting's not great. Like half of my eye is missing. Anyway, I go for my morning walk, and it's like, I go down to the park where they play cricket. There's all these like, sort of like, you got a little bit of trade going on over there, and touch rugby, sweaty boys, sweaty girls, very nice. I like men that sweat. I like fresh sweat. I don't like that sort of like caked in body odor sweat. I like fresh sweat, glistens of sweat. That's sexy. I'm not like those, like gay men like musk. Ugh, yuck. They like musk. They like guys that don't shower. Ew, no. You gotta shower. But like, I don't know. I like fresh sweat on men. I think it's very sexy. We'll get into it a little bit later. But I walk down. I'm so easily distracted today. Mercury's about to be in retrograde. It's my birthday. Indulge me. So I go down and I walk across around Victoria Park. That's where all the boys play cricket. I'm like, walk past the swing set that I broke my arm on, which I'm like, crazy. Like, I broke my arm on that. And then I walked down to the outside of my sister's work, which had the swarm of bees the other day. It was the craziest thing. I actually put it up on my Instagram stories. There were like 1,000 bees just like floating around the front of Air New Zealand. And I was like, what is going on? A few landed on me actually, but I don't have any problem with bees. Although I know bee venom is very poisonous. We don't really talk about it, but it is. I just kind of like brushed them off and they went on their merry way. But yeah, then it's like, so it's got like Victoria Park, hot cricket, touch rugby boys, park that I broke my arm, swing set, walk down, sister's work, Walk down a little bit further, Viaduct Basin, where I just like it's like the America's Cup sporting event back in like 1999, 2000 really changed that area of town. It was very derelict and it was very run down and kind of ghetto, but it almost had like a little bit of a charm to it. And the Viaduct Basin, I walk past, I'm like, wow, this is like developed and changed so much. Like I remember being here as a kid watching this change. And then I walked down a little bit further into like the marina, and I'm like, wow, this is where I learned to drive. Like, this is where my dad taught me to learn how to drive. I drive a stick, bitch. I don't drive automatic. There are some things in life that are just a little bit sexy. Driving a manual car or a stick shift is very sexy. It's like the sexiest because all those old 1950s classic vehicles are all sticks. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They're a rarity and they're becoming even rarer, but I fuck with a manual car. Press down on that clutch, baby. Get into first gear and then, you gotta like balance it. Real ones know. Real dudes and girls that learned this way, they really know what they're talking about. That's sexy to me. Driving a manual vehicle is very sexy to me because it's like if you needed to drive a tractor, you could do it. If you needed to drive a truck, you could do it. If you needed to drive a 1950s Firebird, you could do it. I could do it. No, make no mistake. Make no mistake. I could drive a stick shift if I needed to. And if I had like a luxury vehicle, like a Lamborghini, whatever, I would get it in a stick. I would get it in a manual. Because you can rev it, you can switch gears easily. You have more control over the car. Yeah. Anyway, there's a little park that I learned how to swim in. And then you go up the street and it's like a bridge that connects Shelley Beach Road from the motorway or the highway. That's like the bridge that I rang in the new year, 1999 to 2000. So I saw Y2K in that park. Walk a little further, there's Point Aaron Pools, where I used to clean up all the school swimming sports year after year. No big deal, whatever. And then I walk along and I'm like up on Shelley Beach Road and I'm like, this is where I had my first acid trip. My first and only acid trip, by the way. I don't do drugs. But I was at least waited until I was 25 until my synapses had like completely developed. And yeah, I'm like walking on Shelley Beach Road. I'm like, oh my God, I remember this. That's not a great memory for me. I mean, it is and then it isn't. I don't know. Hallucinogenics, stay away from them, kids. They're not all they cracked up to be. Stay away from drugs in general. Just like, I don't want to be an advocate for experimenting on these types of things. Just, look after your brain, I will say. And then I walk up a little bit longer and I'm on Jervois Road, which is the road that I used to walk to the library as a kid from elementary school. We'd walk to the library once a week and we walk along that road. And I passed my old friend Bridget's house. I'm like, they don't live there anymore. Auckland City is very difficult to stay in your house. It's not easy. A lot of the people, your land tax is dependent. I'm getting so sidetracked today. I'm sorry. But it's my fucking channel. I can talk about what I want and it's my birthday tomorrow. So your taxation in Auckland City depends on your property worth. So as your property gets worth more, you pay more in tax. So a lot of people can't afford to stay in their homes because they now pay thousands of dollars in what they call land rates, but it's a land tax. And they really should stop calling it a land rate because it's not a rate, it's a tax. You socialists, you can't fool me. So I walk past her house and I think about that a lot. I think about wow, your parents used to live in a mansion in St. Mary's Bay. And it's really sad because our family's managed to stay where we're at, but that's because my father is incredibly frugal and good with money. But a lot of people that I went to school with as a kid, they don't live in our neighborhood anymore because they can't afford to. It's the truth. I think about that every time I look at Bridget's house. I wonder where Bridget is these days. Anyway, and then there's the postal office, which I actually remember being a kid, and it was actually a postal office. It's like a very historical building, beautiful. It sat abandoned for 10 years, and then they turned it into a bar. You can get a very delicious cherry beer at that bar. I don't frequent it often because I don't really drink, but if you are in the Auckland area and you like cherry beer, I love cherry beer. I don't know, it's like, it was the most amazing beer I've had in my life. It was also expensive. I have expensive tastes, this is my problem. And then Ponsonby Road, historic road. Ponsonby Road is, oh my God, like, so nice. I grew up in such a beautiful part of the world, I cannot tell you. And it's changed a lot. And I used to resent the changes, but life moves on. Places change, you know, and now I'm just kind of used to it. But I'm very proud of the neighborhood I grew up in. It's really beautiful. And I can't wait actually to have a boyfriend and to bring him back here and to show him where I grew up, because I'm very proud of it. I think you should be proud of the place that you grow up, for sure. But it's actually really incredible. And then I walked down Franklin Road, and that's another family tradition that we have. We used to, every Christmas, walk up and down Franklin Road to look at the Christmas lights. Now it's something that everybody in Auckland City does. You're noticing a theme here, right? We Whanuas do things and then everybody copies us. That's like, I'm sorry, but it's true. It's true. No one used to go to Mission Bay to get ice creams and then walk up to St. Helier's and then look into Ladies Bay. That was our thing. That's our family thing. And then now, like, everyone, like, yeah. I'm just gonna leave it there. But those are our family traditions. And, like, getting back to the restaurant, that's the restaurant that I celebrate my birthday at every year. Every year. And us Whanuas, we're not brown noses. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get in and we're like, can I talk to the manager? Hi, let me introduce myself. Hi, let me get a discount. Like, we're not like you. We're not like tacky you. We don't do that. We make our presence felt, right? We make our presence felt, and we're creatures of habit, so we continue to go back to the same establishments, and they recognize us. So, like, when I go to Thai House on Ponsonby Road, which is actually a restaurant that Scarlett Johansson and Josh Hartnett were photographed at, which is hilarious to me. I don't know, it's just really funny to me because I'm like, yeah, excellent taste. That's like the best restaurant. But I've been celebrating my birthday there since the 90s. Like, I've been celebrating my birthday there for all my life, okay? That's where we go. We've been there. But I like the interiors because it's bright red, like bright sunset orange. So I feel like I'm being enveloped with my favorite color. And it's the exact same color that it has always been. They've never changed the interiors. And the food is excellent. And they know that it's my birthday, obviously, because I go there exactly the same time every year. And when I call to make the reservation, they almost like, they kind of know. Which is funny. I don't know, I like it. I like that familiarity. Again, we're like creatures of habit, us Whanuas. And they give me a shit ton of saffron in my curry. I'm telling you, like, if this is a $20 curry, they're putting at least $30 worth of saffron in it. And saffron is like, it's such a distinct and beautiful taste. It smells so good and fragrant. And they like just dump so much in there. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys, you didn't have to. But I don't, you notice how I don't ask for these things? I don't call them up and I'm like, hi, I'm making my birthday dinner at your restaurant. Like, that's mad tacky. That's mad tacky. You go in there, my sisters say happy birthday. They're gonna know that it's your birthday, bitch. Like, you don't have to do the most. Do you know what I mean? That's like, we're not like Americans, okay? Americans be like that. They gotta make things very obvious. In New Zealand, what they appreciate and really like is humility and nuance, right? So if you're very nuanced and you're very humble, people like that. They don't like obnoxiousness. Yeah. There's a subtlety. There's a subtlety to getting what you want in New Zealand, or like there's a subtlety to it. Yeah. And that's our family. We fly under the radar. We're creatures of habit. We're very traditional. I've said creatures of habit a million times. We're just very traditional. We have our family traditions, and we're very polite. And I think, like I said on my Instagram stories the other day, like, we're very inconsiderate and bratty with each other. But that's because, like, if you knew us, you would understand that that is against our very inherent nature. We're very considerate family. We're a very loving family, and we are very hospitable. And we're incredibly welcoming and warm and gregarious, charming. There's a whenua charm that we have. But because we are hyper accommodating of other people for fun and as a joke, we become like the absolute opposite with each other. If we're incredibly polite and well-mannered with the outside world, we're very rude and abrasive with each other, because that's like, it's funny. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're obviously not like that. We just like that with each other because, like, I don't know. It's like, it's just part of the joke. You wouldn't get it. My sister's girlfriend and my older sister's boyfriend, they understand it because they've been around us long enough to get the humor. But I think if you would see how we treated each other, you'd be shocked, considering how polite. It's like, I think it's like, yeah. It's surprising. You'd be surprised, but that's whatever. That's my birthday, and that's what we're gonna do. And like, this place is like full of memories, and I can't wait to share them with somebody special. I can't wait, man. Like, I have like a whole itinerary for my future boyfriend, baby daddy, husband, whatever. Like, I have a whole itinerary of where we're gonna go, what we're gonna do, what we're gonna see. We're gonna visit them glowworms. I'm not gonna, it's just like so romantic. New Zealand is so romantic, dude. And it's funny because like, we as people are not very romantic. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, there are like the beautiful black sand beaches of West Auckland, which are just stunning, so picturesque. Everywhere you drive is picturesque. Do you know what I mean? And I definitely, like I said in my last video, there's like an energy of transference that exists. You know, you can definitely take on board people's energies. If you can take on board people's energies, you can certainly take on board people's, you know, a place's energy. And I sometimes think like, I think this is where I got my beauty from. No, but really, like, I think like I grew up in a very beautiful place, and the act of transference is very real. So I think that I inherited a lot of my beauty from Auckland City. The architecture, you know, it leaves a lot to be desired. But in terms of geographical beauty, like the Waitemata Harbour, Rangitoto overlooking the basin, it's just like, oh, the Waitakere Ranges out west, going up north, which is where I'll be for my New Year's Eve this year with Shantini. It's just like, it's spectacular. It's magical. And like, it's not until you travel the rest of the world and you see how ugly it is that you really grow to appreciate what you have here, you know? So I appreciate what I have here now. Anyway, what other subjects do I have to broach? That's my birthday. That's what we're doing. And it's going to be like very no frills. I'm not going to say it's basic. We are not basic. It's not basic. It's just very subtle and very... It's not basic. It's very us, you know? I can't explain it. Familial. It's very familiar. Yeah. I like familiarity. I think that's what tradition really gives us. It gives us a sense of familiarity that I think is really beautiful. Yeah. I have Crush Watch here. You know, this one I don't really know if I want to talk about. You know how you kind of have mild flirtations with people online? All I know is that I was in Vegas earlier this year at MGM, and okay, I'm gonna get into it. This is like tying into my crush, but also tying into like several different things. Bitch, people know who I am. Do you understand what I mean? Like, I went to like a tech party many moons ago, and I walk in and it was like a gay Christmas party for a big tech company, the biggest one could argue. And everybody in that room knew who I was. And my date, God bless him, felt very intimidated. I think he felt very intimidated, and I think a little thrown off because I don't think he really knew who I was. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he really knew that I'm that girl. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm that girl. I'm that girl. So, that happened, and I've always like been very humble. I've always been very understated. I like to fly under the radar. I really enjoy my privacy. And I think what I like about people is that they really respect that. Because I'm not out here doing the most trying to get famous, I think people really respect my place and kind of like history. Like, I have a cultural legacy, babe. Like, we can get into it and we can discuss it, but yeah. Like, I tweeted not tweeted the other day, but I tweeted when I was in LA, like, have you noticed every night you go out and it's a good night, they play at least one ABBA song? I think I tweeted that. And we went out to the Friend bar in Silver Lake, and that bar is incredible. LA nightlife is so much fun, and let me tell you why. Because people are really going out to dance and have a good time. No one, like New York, when people go out, everyone's kind of like, there's like this underlying tension of everybody trying to get laid and everyone trying really hard to look cool. That's my impression of New York nightlife. LA, there's no such thing. People go out just to dance and have a good time. If you're like trying to get across the room and you like accidentally stumble into a person, they don't really give a shit. Whereas in New York, if you stumble into a person, it's like, hey, watch yourself. It's like real like egoic. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas like I went out once in LA and I had a really good time because people they out there to have a good time, and there's no beef, and people are not trying to create drama, and there's no like, you go to the bar and you order your drink and you leave. Whereas in New York, people go up to the bar, they order their drink, and they kind of look around. New York is very facey in this way, which is interesting because I would have thought Los Angeles would be the place where people are quite facey at the bar. But no, it's New York. Anyway, I went to LA, we went to the Friend bar, and they're playing like banging hip hop and R&B. Like, I'm telling you, like slamming, booty shaking tracks. They're playing Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj. They're playing like all of this, just like props to the DJ that they be hiring out there. They do an incredible job. And then midway through the set, I was with my friend Charlie, I was with Haley, I was with some other people. And midway through the set, they start playing Dancing Queen by ABBA. What? And I remember looking at Charlie, and Charlie's like, this is unexpected. Like, I was not expecting them to play this song. Like, and I'm like, okay, thank you for affirming my reality, because like that was definitely weird, right? And they're like, yeah, no, that happened and that was weird. I'm like, okay, great. I'm not gonna gaslight myself into thinking that didn't happen. But I'm also very like, that's really interesting. It's very interesting to me. And that has happened before, by the way, where I've gone to like a restaurant and they'll play a song that I played on my Instagram stories. And like, you would only know about that song if you was to be watching my Instagram stories. Yeah. I'm like, you're trolling me. It happens here all the time. Like, the bar across the street is one of the most famous bars in all of Auckland. I live in a great spot, by the way. The hottest gym is, I don't work out at this gym because it's like $100 a week. It's like $400 a month. It's very expensive. But there's like, the hottest gym is right behind this wall. Like, on the back of this property is the hottest gym. And right here is like what used to be called Sale Street Bar, but it's called something else now. I don't know. It's been years since I've gone. But it's like the hottest bar in all of Auckland City. Like, everybody goes there. And it's within walking distance to my house. And I feel like bad because I never go out. But I tweeted, like, I put up on my Instagram stories, like, a photo of me and Shantini, because Shanta came over for pasta and wines, like, literally day 3 of me coming back to New Zealand. Love her. And I put up an Instagram story of Shanta, and I don't know why in my brain I was like, I really just want to play girls just want to have fun. Because that's what we do. We're just girlies that want to have fun. So I posted that song up on my Instagram stories on Monday. That was literally on Monday. Because Shanta posted it up, and then I screenshot it, and then I reposted it onto my stories, and I tagged that song. And then the bar across the street starts playing Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That, like, Thursday night. I'm like, okay. When I first came back last year in 2022... I pulled into the driveway and they played New Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z and Alicia Keys. Like, they troll. Like, I'm telling you guys are gonna think that I'm crazy, but I'm not. People know who the fuck I am, dude. Do not be deceived by these social media numbers, okay? There is a reason why they've kept them deflated. And one day when I tell my story, a lot of this is going to begin to make sense. A lot of it is going to begin to make sense. I'm not going to tell the story now because I'm going to sound crazy. But all I know is that people know who I am. That's all you got to know. People know who I am. The real ones know. And because I'm gay, and we're still in these times that are like, oh, like, you could lose money and sponsorship and this and that if you're like a homosexual, which is really sad, but that's the truth. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, babes. The only athletes that are doing OnlyFans are the gay ones, okay? So let's quit fucking being delusional and saying that coming out doesn't affect your career, because it does. And I have no problem, and I have a lot of respect for athletes that choose to define themselves or not define themselves or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's been my whole MO, is like, you do you. All because you decide to get your dick sucked every once in a while from a man doesn't make you fucking gay, and it doesn't mean you owe it to yourself to come out to the world. Sexuality and human sexuality is very complicated. It is. Sexuality to me is defined by what you choose to wake up next to the following morning, okay? Or because you like to get off with another dude every now and again does not make you gay, bitch. It doesn't. It doesn't. Or because you've gotten your dick sucked from another guy once or twice in your life does not make you gay, okay? But, like, the proof is in the pudding. Coming out affects your career. It affects your sponsorships. It does. It does. And we're delusional and stupid to think that it doesn't. We live still in times that are like, it's changing. It is definitely changing. I think, like, Gen Z, I think millennials and Gen Z are going to be very different. But I do think that it's like, you have to think about it this way. It's like a fantasy. Do you know what I mean? And, like, the biggest market is teenage girls. Why do you think Harry Styles is so big? Because he has that teenage girl fan base. If you can get teenage girls buying your shit, you are going to have a long career, my dude. If you can get teenage girl, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the market. That is the market. You know? So, like, if you come out as gay, like the blueprint to me for, like, gay athletes is, like, make your fans first. Make your fans. Make sure you got enough of them. Make sure you got a lot of them. You don't owe it to anybody to come out. You don't have to do that. Keep them guessing. People love a mystery. You don't owe it to anybody. Do you know what I'm saying? But because I am quite outwardly gay, people don't follow me and people don't click double tap, although they are viewing my shit. Like, my reels get less than 100 likes, but I'm telling you, with what I see with footage, people spend hours watching it. Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of people viewing my shit, but there's not a lot of people double tapping. It's like Lana Del Rey says in Honeymoon, and I think, again, the act of transference. Honeymoon's actually my favorite album of Lana Del Rey's. I wouldn't say that it's her best album, but it has a very special place in my heart. She opens that album with, "We both know that it's not fashionable to love me." And that is me, babe. Like, that's me. It's not fashionable to love me. Not right now. Maybe one day it will be. I mean, look, everyone came full circle to Lana. Maybe it's only a matter of time before they come full circle to me. But, like, it's not fashionable to love me. It's not. And it will probably hurt you more than it will help you. And that's really sad. But that's just where I'm at in my career right now. I haven't built I've built a following, and it's almost like a cult-like following. But weird shit happens on my social media all the time. Like, the social media companies hate me, babe. They hate me. And it's because I know a lot. I know a lot about how they operate. I've dated guys in Silicon Valley. I've had 2 boyfriends that have worked in Silicon Valley. My first boyfriend worked in the military branch. He worked in intelligence, which is like where all the secrets are. Yeah, he worked in intel. So, like, my second boyfriend was a banker, so he knows where all the skeletons are buried. Like, when you look, like, bro, I know some shit. And, like, I'm very private, and, like, contrary to a lot of popular belief, oh God, this is so self-indulgent. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think that I'm this huge gossip. No, I'm not a huge gossip. I just know the truth. And when I see bullshit, I call it out. But there are a lot of secrets. There are a lot of things that I don't talk about and that are not within my best interest to do so. So I won't talk about it. But I sit on a lot of secrets, dude. Like, I know a lot of shit that goes on. Why do you think this hair is so voluminous at 34, babe? It's because it's full of secrets, mama. Like, I know a lot of shit. And yeah, everyone thinks that I can't be trusted with things. Bro, like, the shit that I know could ruin marriages. It could ruin marriages, I'm telling you. Like, the things that I sit on, the things that I know. And that's what's, like, even crazier is, like, what goes on tour stays on tour. I live by that virtue. I could have been out here airing so many different people's dirty laundry like that, but I never did. And I kept myself clean. And that's what pisses them off, is that I know so much dirt, but I've kept myself. You don't have much dirt on me. You don't got much dirt on me. But I got a lot of dirt on you motherfuckers. I got a lot of dirt on you. And it's very interesting to me because when I go onto YouTube and I click on these videos, it'll get like hundreds of likes. But then when I click on it again in a few hours time, it'll say no views. So something fishy is going on where the numbers climb up and then they're hitting a reset button and the numbers are going back down. Trust, babe. They control the numbers. Babe. Do you really think 150 million people are following Elon, or 160 million people are following that guy on, I'm not even gonna say his name, but do you really think 160, like, if you really about that life and you want to get rid of the bots, you would have, and you will, but it wouldn't happen without your followers literally getting cut in half. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys don't understand. You don't understand because you don't know what I know. Like, do you really, like, I was watching Kardashians the other day and it was like Caitlyn Jenner was the fastest person to get to 1 million follows. I'm like, that's fucking weird, bro. Like, no one questions that. That's weird to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, when Ronaldo has like hundreds of millions of followers on Instagram, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. Soccer is a very big sport. It's the biggest sport in the world. He's the greatest of all time, and he's continuing to play. Like, that makes sense to me. But like, Caitlyn Jenner, really? No, no. Especially when like, oh, let's not even get into it. But like, the T in the LGBT makes up like 1%, if not less than 1% of the U.S. of like the population. You know, like no, something's going on. These offshore bot farms be like hyperinflating really dangerous ideas because that's how they. Anyway, we're not even gonna get into it. Just know that like there's like a psychological component to social media, and a lot of the things that are trending are not really trending. And I have firsthand knowledge of that. And a lot of the things that get placed before your very eyes are there for a reason. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that. I know too much, babe. So like, it's weird when like you see my hundreds of. I was telling my sister about this, and then I was talking a little bit more about some of the stuff that I've experienced, some of my Olympic experiences, this and that. And she was like, I never knew that. I didn't know that these things happened. You never told me about them. And I'm like, oh shit. That's right. I didn't. Because I don't. Because, again, like what goes on tour stays on tour, babe. Like I live by that. I really live by that. What happens in the Olympic Village stays in the Olympic Village, bitch. It stays in there. And so many people would want to know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they would want to know, mama. But no, like, bro, like, the amount of dirt that I had on, like, the officials, the Tongan officials, bro, I had dirt that could have ended marriages, my dude. That's what's so incredible is, like, I did sweeping change in the Tongan National Olympic Committee, and everybody's reputation stayed intact. With the things that I saw and the things that I know, I could have destroyed people, but I didn't. Because I was like, you know what? We don't play dirty like they do. We can get change done and we can get change made without airing out people's dirty laundry like that. Ooh. If you knew what I knew. If you knew what I knew. That's why I'd be looking at them like, you guys are real lucky that I didn't air out all the dirty laundry. I didn't air out any dirty laundry. I just said, like, this needs to change, and this is the person that we need in these positions to change it. And then I know what happened. Netina Latu, who is now the CEO and Secretary General of TASANOT, which is the Tongan Amateur Sporting National Olympic Committee, I know that I said this is the woman that we need to really change and make a difference in Tongan sports. And I know that she then went to Geneva to do all of these like educational courses with the Olympic Committee and with like the International Olympic Committee. And I know that when they met this woman, they would have been thinking of me. And they would have been like, holy shit, this woman's really smart. She has a lot of integrity. She's a lot of dignity. And she does what's right. Amini Fanor was onto something. He really knew what he was talking about. And that's why the International Olympic Committee, they fuck with me. Because I'm like, dude, yeah, I tell the truth, dude. I tell the truth. If there's one thing that you're going to remember about me, it's that I'm going to be telling you the truth. So I know that they would have met this woman and been like, let's see what she's really about. And they would have seen, wow, she's smart, she's well-spoken, she's intelligent, she's not corrupt. Oh my God. This is the person we've been waiting for. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I am really good at picking them. I'm a very good judge of character. I know the real ones, okay? But like, even on Instagram, dude, like I'll put up a reel that I know will do very well. I know what my followers like. I know what gets a lot of likes. I know what gets a lot of traction. And it'll get copy striked within minutes of it being like within minutes of it going up, it'll be like, your reel has been demonetized because of XYZ. It goes against company guidelines or community guidelines. And I'm like, okay. And then I hit submit review. I wait 3 days. And then I'll get a message that says, your reel has been monetized because it has not gone against community guidelines and it has been reposted. But like, by that time, the damage has already been done. Do you understand what I mean? Like, when you put things up, it goes like, it gets the clicks and the views and it gets out there within the first 24 hours, within the first 6 to 12 hours. But really the first 24 hours is when you're going to get the most amount of traction. By flagging my content every time, it slows the momentum down of my content, right? So my shit's not able to get out there. Like, I'm banned from the For You page or the Explore page. You won't see my stuff out there. So it really slows the momentum of being able to build my like followers. And that's why, like, it was like, you follow, you know, I don't know, whatever. It's frustrating, but I'm very thankful and grateful that my money is not made on Instagram. Like, I'm not an influencer in a traditional sense where like however many units and however many views I get is tied to how much money I make. Like, I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit, bitch. Like, it doesn't matter to me. It does not matter to me because I don't make my money on these platforms. But like, there's definitely a concerted effort when I look at it to keep my numbers down because they don't want me speaking the truth. But like, everybody already knows what I know already. Like, the truth has already been revealed. So I don't really, do you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows that this is a sham and a scam. Everybody knows that you control the numbers. Everybody knows already. And I'm sure if I paid the money to get the views, they would, do you know what I'm saying? Social media doesn't exist in the way that it used to 5 or 10 years ago, where like, if you just made good content, your shit would go viral. No, babe, they're hurting for them dineros. Like, especially after the pandemic, when like a lot of truth has been brought to light on like how these institutions operate, like, people aren't spending the money anymore. So they're really having to scramble and squeeze out every juice. I think that's like what's going on. Part of me is like conspiracy theory and like, they're out to get me. But really what it is I actually think that they're hurting and they really want you to pay to get the traction now. Yeah, you can't build your audience organically like you could in the past. You have to, you know, quid pro quo, like you have to pay for play. Yeah, and I'm not gonna pay. So, whatever, it's not any skin off my dick. Like, I don't fucking care. Yeah, it's not. It's not important to me. What I know is that they're trying to discourage me from posting, which is why they play these games. But I'm never going to stop posting and having my content go out there, because at the end of the day, I know people be viewing it and I know people be watching it. And you can, and the proof is in the pudding. I mean, 100 likes, but then like 4.5 hours, 5 hours of viewing a reel, which means that people are watching it and then they're rewatching it and they're watching it over and over again. That's what's needed for things to go viral. You watch a video not once, but twice, but 3 times, and the algorithm picks that up and then it pushes it out. So by flagging my shit, it's deliberately stopping that from happening. But you know, it is what it is. You can't really stop greatness, you know, and I'm not going to get discouraged. I'm always going to create because I love to, and it's fun for me. And whether I get, yeah, they know that. They know the power of me, and they know my strength. Yeah. The devil doesn't come after people that are non-threatening. The devil comes after people that are a huge threat to the status quo. I ask questions, bitch. I have no problem asking questions, and I have no problem putting you motherfuckers on blast. Anyway, this is like a 15-minute video, and I didn't even get to talk about my crushes. All you need to know is that people know who I am. And when I say, you know, he be looking fine, I really like the way he looks in those baby blue pastel sweats. And then he be traveling across the world in what? Baby blue pastel sweats. When I tweet out things like, you know, I knew I was never a medal contender when it went to the Olympics. I always knew that, you know, my job was to stamp out the corruption in Tongan sports and to really get people in the right positions that could see Polynesia prosper in terms of sports. I knew that that was seen because one of my crushes then puts up a caption on Instagram saying, it's not the medal tally that counts, it's the attitude. Do you know what I'm saying? I just got a notification, so things are gonna like blur. I don't know if this is gonna be synced up, so I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end it now. I love you guys. Please like and subscribe. This is way long. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, I can talk forever, babe. I could talk forever. I love you. Bye. Look after yourselves. Be nice to yourself. Go hard. Go for it. Live your dreams. And like, you know, don't be afraid of the pain that comes with it. No pain, no gain. No pain, no gain.